Hello again. I have been gone for a while. My face has not graced the internet space in a while. However, I did get a new mic and I hope you enjoy it. The point was, I've been watching a lot of calm girl YouTubers that just sit and chat with you for a while. They tell you a good historical research or social commentary and then they leave you feeling good. So I will try not to raise my pitch or my volume very much because I want to emit that calm, cool YouTuber that knows her stuff. But in reality, I need to check the focus. In reality, I'm not sure what I want to talk about. Like, I've been sitting and I want to make a YouTube video, but I don't know what to talk about. And the ideas that I'm getting are either go on Reddit or watch Jubilee or something like that, which let me know if you would be interested in me watching random stuff online. But I guess what I'm gonna talk about today is sustainable clothing. Which, it's a very broad term, sustainable clothing is so broad. But I kind of wanted to talk about how during the last year, the realization of what polyester is hit me. And it's very interesting how it's one thing to say, oh, well, polyester is a synthetic fabric. It's another thing to say polyester is tar. It's oil. It's the shit you put in your car to move it. It's weird. I had this moment of, oh my god, it's tar, it's asphalt, it's oil. I'm actually not sure that asphalt has any oil in it, but you know what I mean. It's I had this moment where I was like, oh my god, it's actually far worse than I thought. Because when you hear synthetic fabric, it's like, oh, well, I guess science is involved. But then when you hear oil fabric, it's like, ugh. I can't get it out of my head. I picture something from Spirited Away, like the monster from Spirited Away, but on your body, like black tar and goo just dripping off your body every time you put on a piece of clothing that's made of polyester. Yeah. It's just weird, man. First off, how did we manage to make plastic out of oil? I need to do my research, so maybe very soon in the future I'll make a video where it's this is how polyester is made, but this is not that video. This is just a video of me being I don't know how we even came up with that. I understand the idea of oh, you can get plastic thin enough for it to resemble a thread and then weave it and then boom, fabric, but why? Why? So I've made it a point in my life, a goal, to not buy polyester if possible. But that if possible is so important because natural fabrics have become just stupidly expensive in the West. And it's not true everywhere in the world, because when we travel to different countries that are outside of Europe, cotton t-shirts and cotton pieces are not that expensive. But then you try to shop in Europe and you go online and you want to buy a cool, nice cotton t-shirt, and it can be sometimes 50 euros. And I'm 50 euros for a t-shirt? That's a bit much. So you can't avoid it. Also, I recently made my own piece of clothing from literally scratch, and I had to print the fabric. And I learned that printing natural fabric is incredibly complicated and incredibly expensive and very specialized. Like, if you try to find locally a place that prints natural fabric, they're gonna ask you to print at least 100 meters for it to be worth the bother. Like, it's actually very complicated, and it's basically a stamp. Like, it's a real fabric, so you can't put it through chemicals or like, I don't even know why, but it's just natural fabric staining and natural fabric coloring, and prints specifically, like interesting prints, are very, very expensive and very difficult to do. So most clothing, even if it's like decent local high fashion clothing that I have found, are made of polyester, because polyester is cheap to print. Like, I wanted to make something and I had to print on polyester because it was just cheaper. And I went to the fabric printing place, and the process is actually very user friendly. Let's call it that. But it's just two machines. It's just two rollers. One prints a piece of paper, and then another one stamps the paper onto the polyester, and it makes colored fabric. And that opened my eyes, and it was like, wow, we've come to a point where we're dependent on polyester clothing for a lot of the... Even if you are against fast fashion and you want to go local, you're still gonna find a lot of good clothing that is made of polyester, which just makes me sad, because I wish it could be cotton, especially clothing that sometimes it's a piece that's not even cheap, but it's made of clothing. Or the greenwashing of synthetic fabric, because not everything is just polyester. There's other oil-based stuff like vegan leather, which, if it's made synthetically, like of an actual plastic, that's greenwashing. Why are you trying to convince me that like a piece of plastic is better for the environment than leather? Like, then the answer is just don't buy leather. Like, if you really want to go that route, it's just don't buy anything related to that kind of fabric and just let it out. So I'm just sad. But on a positive note, ever since I started looking for natural fabric, I discovered the beauty of inheriting clothing. like this. My grandma made this. My mama was a fashionista, and I love this. I believe this is silk. And she made it. It's cool, but also vintage and thrifting and stuff. I'm going to explore some thrifting in Paris really soon, but you're more likely to find like nice, affordable, sustainable fabric in thrifting, but also flea markets. Bruh, if you have in your town like one of those markets where like they come once a week and they set up stalls, you're very likely to find actually really, really high quality fabric, like pure silk. But just because it's non-branded, non-distributed, just like they probably get it either directly or they ship it from somewhere, they don't put any surplus on the price. So you're gonna find like pure silk tiny tank top for $20. Go to the flea market. Well, the thing to me is like, I just don't want to wear oil. The idea of wearing on my body what you put in your car. Like, have you ever, you load it in your car and you load your car, and then you pull it out and a little bit is on your finger and you're like, ugh, and then you can't even wash it out. It's like that's what I imagine. I'm sure that's not exactly what it is, obviously, since you're not like sticky on your clothes. I know this isn't even polyester, but it's like, I'm trying to imagine, but it's like you're not even sticky on your clothes, but I imagine that. But it's also like, we can't go without any synthetic fabric. I know. It's like, no one rage. I know we cannot go without synthetic fabrics like sportswear or outerwear, specific weather wear, they are synthetic because they need to be synthetic. Like, I think. I don't even know. But for my everyday daily stuff, I think that wool is such a beautiful fabric, and I would love to own more wool. Viscose is an interesting thing because technically it's they call it semi-synthetic, but what it is like they somehow turn trees into a fabric. And here's the thing. The whole process of it, like it wastes enormous amount of water and enormous amount of the actual wood that is being chopped to make this fabric. Incredibly bad for the environment and unsustainable. But in my mind, I'm like, at least it will like decompose. At least that is going to happen. Because with polyester and plastics, it's not going to decompose. At least with viscose, I'm like, yes, well, in the making of it, it's awful. But at least in the wearing and tearing and then disposing of it, it's less awful. And then at this point, it's like we're so intertwined into this whole system that it's so difficult to come out of it. The best I for now, I like a year into having the revolutionary discovery that I'm wearing oil, I'm having a moment of I'm gonna focus on one thing. I can't focus on everything when it comes to like sustainability, because I don't own a clothing factory. I can't change the ways that they do it. I don't have a farm for cotton or oil, machine. Like, I'm literally just buying clothes. And if a piece of clothing is really nice, because fashion isn't just like, oh, I need to not be naked. Fashion is a form of expression. And, everyone's personal style is so intrinsic to them. You can't just go without any. Yeah. So that's my 2 cents on natural fabrics. They're not sustainable. There are problems even with cotton. Like, there's now the whole sustainably sourced cotton, which I don't know anything about, but I assume it's something similar to the way that cocoa is. Like, you have good sustainably sourced cocoa and then you have bad cocoa. So it's like, I'm guessing it's something like this, but it's like I can't, or no one can tackle every issue all at once. So at this point in my life, on this journey of discovering good clothing, I will say in most plain terms, I've begun searching for a good fabric. It becomes a habit. I go to the store. Do I like this piece? Okay, what's the price? Number 1. Number 2, I look at the tag. What is it made of? If I'm online, it's even easier. You just click details and then it says like what it's made of. But it's just it's becoming a habit, which I'm glad it is. And it doesn't mean I'm never buying polyester, but it is something I just keep in mind. It's like this is in the back of my head. When I go, I check the price and I check what it's made of. And it also helps me assess, do I think that this thing is worth the money? Because if you're looking at a t-shirt that's like €50 and it's made of polyester, that t-shirt's not worth it. If you're looking at a t-shirt that's made of like cashmere, then if you're getting it for €50, good on you, get it. Get it now. So it's just, fabric has become more important. Or, I mean, brand has never been important to me. I don't care about branding. But it's like, even expensive brands have polyester pieces. And it's like, maybe 100, maybe $200. And it's made of polyester? No, thank you. I would rather not buy that. I would rather look for something else within the brand if I love the brand. So that's just something I wanted to share. Yeah, let me know if you have any ideas of what you want to see me do. I'm living in Paris now, so if you want to see a vlog or if you want to see anything in Paris, if you are curious about anything about here, or even life as a student or as a foreigner or anything like that, please let me know. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!